Hey.
That's a good thing. All right, well, we're going to get started. I don't think there's a... All right, we need a little more food. How you doing? What can't you do by yourself? No. That's my grandma's I like this car, but I was hoping all right, let's do
So hey guys, if you're on, we're just getting started with our People's Assembly tonight. We're setting up right now. We're just about to get going. And tweet everybody out, let everyone know I'm live. That's what I'm doing right now as well.
So we have Portia stacking tonight. So if you have a poem you want to share, if you have some music, if you want to talk, what we were thinking would be a great theme. Can you keep it down so a little bit? So we thought a really good theme would be looking back, special memories of our first year, and looking forward. What do we hope to see as we move forward?
Hey viewer, tell everyone I'm live.
Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Callie and I are going to facilitate.
Hey viewers, let me know how my stream
What
looks.
we hope is really a gathering more than a meeting. This is a time to share. As we move into our first anniversary. Of Occupy LA. It's a time to look back. Share special memories. Talk about what we wish for. And want to manifest in the year ahead. Or just share because, you know, it's Occu music time too tonight. So if you are a musician or a poet, if you want to share anything cultural, come on up. This is your time. Come to Portia and we're going to try to create a mix.
Anybody want to be first?
First to the stack.
Come on, you know you want to.
Thank you.
It's been a year. I know there's a lot of memories that people have from the past year.
All right, I'm going to start. So, people please keep their voices down. So I met Occupy LA on September 26th. We were there. We were at that, remember the protest of the oil wars and whatnot at the Obama fundraiser at the House of Blues? It was the usual cast of characters. Yeah, Mike Novick was there. A lot of us have been working together for many, many years, you know, as activists. And, you know, it's getting like kind of feeling like the troops weren't, you know, alive. But we were there, we were protesting. And then all of a sudden, there was this infusion of young voices and young people and energy bursting through us. We are the 99%! We are the 99%! We are the 99%! Join us! We are the 99%! We are the 99%! Join us! The 99%! And they had leaflets. And they said they were going to be occupying City Hall on October 1st, okay? And they invited us to their meeting that night, which they were brilliantly, they planned for a park right near where these protests were. I didn't go. I went out instead to get some Ethiopian food, and I got a call from Kathleen Hernandez from the Topanga Peace Alliance in our group, Federation Peace Alliance. She said, Julie, you're really missing an important meeting. You need to get your butt back to that meeting. So we left the Ethiopian restaurant, and we joined Kwazi and Sabina, a lot of folks we've been working with for a long time, and we saw true horizontality. We saw a lot of committed people, mostly young, who were really committed to the belief that a better world was possible, who frankly understood that capitalism could not be reformed, who understood that we needed to take on this whole corporate agenda, the corporate state, and had the belief, inspired by Occupy Wall Street, and before that by all of the global happenings around the world that have happened and continue to happen, they believed that they could be a part of that change. And that night, for me, was the transforming night. I never thought I'd be sleeping on a sidewalk, because the first night or two we had to sleep on the sidewalk, in a sleeping bag that I had to cover over my head because the fig trees had really hard figs on them. And they were falling on my head all night long. And it was really crazy at the beginning, but we kept working on it. And through everything, we kept working on it. And we're still here, and we're still working on it. No matter how much the newspapers tell us that we've gone away, we've split up, we're still here.
It is so not over.
And not only that, it's not Occupy LA, it's Occupy everywhere. And that's something that they cannot change because the wheels are turning. And they have to. And that's what I wanted to share, and I'm really happy to be here tonight. Woo! Woo! Somebody else. Okay. Get on set. And yes, some music. Come on up. What do you got on set? Shakti.
This dog eats cops.
Duncan's like, why are you doing this to me?
I do
Duncan,
not.
come to me.
This
Come
dog
on,
eats
baby.
police for
No,
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
no, get it right. He eats bad proposals. Right?
This dog only
Yes.
eats pork.
Come here, Duncan.
Watch out, your thing's falling.
Come here, Duncan. Richard,
I'm Leo.
seeing you.
Hi, Leo.
I stumbled into this movement, but I was so ready for this when I stumbled. I was just so ready. There was Haiti, and there was my friends in the neighborhood. When Haiti happened, I learned that you need 4 gallons of water per day to survive. You'll survive without water 4 days. After 4 days, if a whole nation does not have water, the people will start dying en masse. So I was going out, they were going to treat me to a movie because I was stressed, and my community don't like me stressed, he said. And I came downtown, and I started talking to people. I said, did you hear what happened in Haiti? People would look at me like, oh my God, this woman is talking to me. Who is she? Then when I mentioned Haiti, that was something that was happening right now. And these people were going to die in 3 days by the time I made it downtown LA. And I couldn't stop telling people about water. So when I came up on Occupy LA, they were marching in the street. I don't know where I was coming from, but I stopped by the newspaper man that was right there on the corner of this and whatever that street is to get my hug and my daily newspaper. He'd give me sometimes because sometimes I didn't have the money to buy it. And he knew I liked being informed. And there was these people marching and shouting, and I'm like, what is this? Wait a minute. I'm like, what are you talking about? Where are you going? They said, just come on. And I followed him. I followed him to City Hall. I got there and I went to the medical tent because I felt comfortable there. And I sat there and I looked at these people running around and having deep conversations. I'm saying deep is the new norm. And when I got back to my community, I said, you know what? I didn't only learn that deep was the new norm, but I'm still not deep enough. And I ran into Bilal. And Bilal, even though I was born into this, When I came out fighting for my life. I came out fighting odds. When I came out, only 5% of the people born in the ghetto come out of the ghetto. Today is only 1% that are born in the ghetto may come out of the ghetto. 1%. Since I've been born, it went down 4%. But when I ran into these people that were talking deep and talking issues and talking things, talking solutions, talking ways, talking about moving out, talking about the world, I've been here. Now I've been here ever since. And I've learned a lot. And Bilal Ali told me, if you come in the same way, if you come out of this the same way you went in, you didn't learn nothing, you didn't grow. We struggled. I stayed here with Occupy LA and I struggled. I struggled with communications. I had to struggle in order to grow. It was very painful doing that, but it was exhilarating. It was like you really want to talk, and I can see that. I can see you reaching out your hand to me, and let me reach my hand back to you. Let me say hello. Let me say hola. Let me say ni hao ma. Let me say como talibou. Let me say what in German. Guten Tag. Duermes con los arbolitos. Let me say something. Let's reach out and touch each other, and that's the way I've always felt. Always.
So hey guys, if you're just tuning in, we're having a speak out. This is our 1-year anniversary party. This is the first night of a multi-night celebration and ending on Monday, culminating on Monday, where we're going to do direct actions and marching through the city, as we've always done.
But this is not about me. This is about a whole thing. This is about all of us. This is about Fort Hernandez. This is about Pasadena. This is about the boy with the hoodie. Oh God, what was his name?
Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin. This is about the bank stealing the money, then us giving them money, then them taking the home, and we gave them so they can making more money. This is about this, not just in America, but all over the world. These are some. This is about human rights. This is about us being human beings. No matter what you think, where you are, where you've been. This is about us not living in caves. This is about us coming out of the cave into the light. I think I heard once you come out of the cave and into the light, oh, you never want to.
Well, welcome to the OLA Speak Out, guys. And we're going to be going for a couple hours. And feel free to watch, let people know what's going on. The cops are here at the police at the station.
Sorry. I got a hell of a gift. I think we are not fired. This more. Hey, it's so happy. I'm going to bring cornbread fed. Got more country made than get out of bed.
I'll be right back.
So this gentleman is giving us a little thank you. He's one of our local unhoused residents. And he wanted to basically give us a little thanks and say how he grew up in Georgia and how what we're doing here is very different from anything he's ever seen or experienced. Shocked you up?
Jackie's not ready to go up yet, she said. Hey, come on, Patrick. You got memories you want to share?
Who's next on stack then?
Come on, share.
You got people on stack? You got people on stack?
Oh, who's on stack? Cheryl. Cheryl's on stack.
Yeah, stack. Novel idea.
Yeah, keep an eye on your belongings. You don't know who maybe, out to do something you don't like. I just want to give some thoughts
about our accomplishments in this last year, because I think we have a lot. I'm not going to go over all of them, but I think there's some that we don't take credit for or we don't acknowledge, and I'd like to see us, one, take credit for them, and two, work on getting better at them, because, you know, we obviously are having some successes with them. I think one of the things that we don't take credit for is the fact that we have been able to make them respond to us, you know? In regards to the LAPD, we could say, you know, Monday we're going to go to the Bank of America building or something like that. And we could get the LAPD to, one, tell the Bank of America we're on our way there, and then two, have the LAPD show up, which, you know, isn't all that fun, but we've been able to get them to shut down locations for us. I remember after the raid, we were having a foreclosure action at the Bank of Mellon, and we never even planned to go into the lobby at all. And they had the lobby shut down. They had a special entrance in the back for employees and people that needed to be in the building. And so we effectively shut it down, and all we did to do that was say we were going to be there, and then we were there. So I think we should take advantage of that a little bit more. I'd love to see, you know, us talk with the police a little bit more in that regard, or the banks or whoever. So I think that's one accomplishment we have. One accomplishment we do acknowledge and talk about a little bit is the ability to change the narrative, or the fact that we have changed the narrative, the national narrative in regards to income inequality and some of the other issues that Occupy Wall Street stands for. I'd love to see us exploit that a little bit more and be able to have a little bit more of a push on some of the national narrative levels and see if we can get some of that to change even further beyond just income inequality, the 99%, and some of those things. And then we've saved homes. I mean, a large part of my time in Occupy, I was with Occupy Fights Foreclosures, and I know that my actions personally impacted families, kept them in their homes, and affected them in positive ways. So I think doing more of that is very important, because you help people right where they live, and it's one of the biggest scams that's out there, one of the biggest fraudulent things we're fighting against, and it really ties into Wall Street, and it really ties into the corrupt political system. So if we can have more victories there, I think it would be great. I think what we need to do this year is focus on building, you know, a metaphorical toolkit, activist toolkit, Occupy toolkit, and start to teach each other how to use these different kinds of tools depending on what they are. I think one tool that we need to really sharpen and hone and learn how to use is our ability to communicate with one another and do that effectively. The other thing I've been pushing for months now is strategic planning. I think we really need to hone in on that and be able to plan together more effectively so that we can have more of these victories. I'd love to see one mass outreach action, kind of like what they did in New York with the squirrels and the intersections.
We have helicopters.
But instead of focusing it in on the targets of the 1%, we focus it on recruitment. I think one of our biggest hindrances.
Solidarity to you too.
I think one of our biggest hindrances has been in outreach is our ability to retain occupiers. I know you were here. I know a lot of you were here. I started on the 25th of September. We started with, I think, 30, 40, 50 people here. It was the day before you started. The next day we did the Obama. We had a lot more. We had more people show up. The night before we went to City Hall, the Friday, we had hundreds. We had, I think, like 150, 200, maybe more. And then we've had thousands in and out of our group participating with us. I wish we could retain more people because they've been good people. As far as the changing the narrative, I'd love to see us focus in on the personal narrative, being able to tell our stories more effectively so that we can do that outreach and we can be a little more effective and influence that main national narrative or a worldwide narrative or just a narrative that people are talking about. And then I'd like to see us also try to meet people where they're at. Not everybody is extremely radical and has this whole thing figured out and knows exactly what needs to be done and how it needs to be done to, you know, save the world. So we have to meet people where they're at and speak to them in some of the language that they speak in so that they can at least understand what we're doing and bring them along with us. And instead of expecting them to be on the path we're already on, we've got to go back, get them, and bring them along with us. I'd like to see that. And the other thing I'd like to see is a little more gratitude in the movement to recognize one another for all the hard work we've done, all the contributions we've done, and all of that. So those are some of my ideas about this last year and hopefully going into the next year.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Who else goes next? Beth. Welcome back, Beth.
Woo! I want to start with a quick report back from today. I don't know if you guys all know, but we kicked off our anniversary weekend with an Occupy Fights Foreclosures action. What we did is we went out to the office of one of the biggest crooks in America. Basically, this father and son team, they helped to put all these fraudulent foreclosures into play. Now with Countrywide Bank, and they've been convicted of fraud. The main person involved was convicted of fraud and said that he could never be involved in the financial industry again. Lo and behold, we find him in Pasadena. He has an office there. So what did we do? We went into his office building. We spent about an hour there with the police in riot gear. They were really confused and they weren't quite sure what to do with us. It took them quite a while to chase us out of the building after they asked us nicely. So we left. One bus was people who were going home. The other bus were people who were going on to our next action. Well, the cops decided they were going to tail us. So what did we do? We just kept going, and then we pulled over, and Matt Ward decided to go ask the cops why they were following us. They told us it was for our safety. So we decided we had to lose them. So we made a couple of dips on and off the highway, and ended up losing the cops. And when we lost the cops, we went to that guy's house. We show up at his house. His son comes home from high school, and he's mortified. He calls his dad on the phone. He calls his mom on the phone. His dad comes whipping in his Range Rover. He's screaming, "I call the cops," and we're like, so the wife comes running up, and everyone's like yelling at the guy in his car window, and we're blocking his door, so he got to feel what it's like not to be able to go into his own home. Okay? So he got to know what it's like for these foreclosed victims for a hot second not being able to enter your own home. And when we blocked it, the cops did come, but first his wife came from next door screaming, "Who the fuck are these people? Why are they in my yard?" So overall, nobody got arrested. They brought out a tear gas machine gun. We've never seen one of those before. It shoots 4 canisters. And it was a pretty good and pretty awesome start to the weekend, I think. As far as myself, I came here on October 1st last year. I'm a native New Yorker, and honestly, I was fed the fuck up with Los Angeles. I was pretty sure it was full of nothing but shallow people trapped in their own bubbles, all hoping to be superstars and celebrities, willing to stab anyone in the back they next meet, because it happened to me from people who I thought were my friends for a long time before I moved here. And I was ready to go home. Occupy started. My friends were like, "Hey, this sounds cool." I'm like, "I'm going to go to Wall Street." I got an email from my truther group. They said, "Hey, they're doing an Occupy thing out here." I said, "I'll go cover it." I came there the first day, and many of you guys know my crazy friend Kevin. Kevin was running around with his filming. I was running around filming. We said, "Hey, if these crazy bastards make it through the night," we stayed till 12:30. They said, "If they make it through the night, we're coming back here and we're occupying. We're not leaving." And we did. Kevin started occupying on October 2nd. I also slept on the sidewalk just as Julie did. I joined the Peace Patrol that night when I woke up with someone who, over the next 5 days, threatened to kill me on multiple occasions and tried twice. You know, the entire time at our encampment, we dealt with a lot of bullshit. They tried to starve us through the health department. They took our showers away, and we showed we weren't fucking leaving. They had to bring in 1,400 cops to make us go. I mean, come on. They said we weren't gonna last. We're still standing here today. I've met a lot of people through this movement here and from other occupations who've come through who've really changed my perspective on a lot of things. And one of the things that, coming from New York, we have Hell's Kitchen there, which is very much like Skid Row. Hell's Kitchen is really scary. Honestly, to me, it's much scarier than Skid Row. Everyone told me not to come downtown, not to go near Skid Row, that it was dangerous. And now I laugh at them because I'm like, when people on Skid Row see me now with the camera running, they don't scream at me, put the camera down. They scream, go get them! Because they know what we're doing. Now, the one thing that I think that, like, overall that I've seen, and I'll agree with Cheryl a lot on this, that we can improve on, is respecting one another and respecting everybody. I've seen a lot of people get upset over the reform versus anarchy thing. You know what? I'm an anarchist. I've been an anarchist since I learned what the word meant when I was 13 years old, okay? And one of the things I learned that was fun about being an anarchist is we could fuck with the reformists even worse because we all registered to vote one year and fucked their local elections, okay? And we need to realize that not everybody is on the same page. And I'm sorry, I feel a lot of love for you guys. If you're going to vote for Obama, I hope you see the light before Election Day. But we all need to respect everybody else's policies and tactics because those same people are what's helping move us forward. You know, someone might want to vote in the election, but you never know. We might have someone running for city council that might help us one day for real. You know, we need to make sure that we're not pushing people away because we don't fully agree with their philosophy. We have to figure out how our philosophies can work together, you know, and I had to learn that very young, being involved in activism. I've been involved in activism for 22 years. A lot of people are new to this, and it's a growing thing. So from here forward, I want to see less attacks. I don't want to see anyone attacking anyone on fucking Facebook. If you're not into it by now, fucking feds run Facebook. Stop this shit. You're just outing each other and yourselves, and it's stupid. You know, we have a lot of people watching us right now. This is the one occupation in the nation that really hasn't split up as far as the other occupieds go. OWS is split into a million groups, you know, and that's what they dealt with on S17, was running around to 16,000 actions. We've managed to coordinate together and stay together this long. And what I'll ask all of you to do tomorrow, first thing, go through your phone books. Find everybody whose face you haven't seen here in a while, call them, find out why they're not here, email them, tell them to come back. Tell them the only way we're going to change shit is to change it together.
Yeah! Great job. Great job.
Actually, I will speak later. I just want to introduce a young man. Tonight is his first night here. His name is Carlos. So tell our folks why you are here.
I'm here to help you guys out.
Like that.
Speak louder.
I'm here to help you guys out.
I'm here to help you guys out.
To volunteer? Is that
Volunteer for you.
to volunteer.
Volunteer, that's the good word.
Thank you.
Yes!
I will go down lower on the stack if you will allow me, my sister.
That's next.
Well, you can never be a sheriff. Your voice has to bounce off.
I am so proud of every one of you. Everyone here is my family. Cheryl, when you guys were up protesting against Obama last year on the 26th or whatever, 27th, that's when I heard about this, okay? So I come down here on October 1st into Pershing Square first thing in the morning, and we march over to City Hall, and I'm like, shit, they're really going to spend the night. So I ran home and grabbed a ground cover and came back, and at about like 3 in the morning, I mean, there was all kinds of shit going on, but at about 3 in the morning, people were finally settling down and everything. The energy coming off of City Hall block at 3 in the morning, there was enough energy just radiating, you could have powered the whole damn world for years. It was amazing. I'm 64 years old. That was the most magical moment in my life. I am telling you. I was just way, and I was, everybody there was like, fuck, we're really spending the night. It was just magic. And we all became family, and we all gone ahead and struggled with being able to communicate and we have struggled with being able to put together a sane community on a planet where a sane community does not exist. That's what we've struggled with, okay? And I very much agree with Cheryl. I agree with Beth, wherever Beth took off. We still have challenges. Oh my God. We have challenges continuing to build the love and affection and understanding and tolerance we have for one another. We definitely need to be able to communicate those that haven't caught up with us. Sometimes you got to slow the bus down so other people can get on. And that doesn't mean that we compromise our ideals. It just means we learn how to communicate to a large variety of people. But I just wanted to get up here and just say that I love everybody here. This is amazing, and definitely let's get many of those people back that have already been here. Thank every one of you so much.
I love you, man. You're awesome, dude.
Shaki, are you ready?
Shaki, are you ready?
Okay, I think Shaki's up next.
What's up, man?
Just so you know, we do have food planned for this evening, and we'll probably take a moment of break so everybody
That's what
can
he
get
wanted to
in.
say. Like
Just
Craig said, he
very
wanted to make fun of it, but then he felt sorry, so he didn't. Did you go?
Yeah, we're talking.
Thank you, man.
Am I in your way?
No, I just don't want you to hit the camera.
What happened? Why did it suck?
Well, first of all,
Okay guys, I'm going to save the stream real quick and we're going to come back with Shakti playing.